It's a sweet spot. I said, wait a little minute. Justin Bieber, you in my head. We gonna get started here in a minute. I can't get this song out of my head. Bieber, Bieber, Bieber. I'm about to smoke this weed. Give me 1 second. Okay, bye. Hang on low. Don't go nowhere. Be right back. Just need it, Chief. We just need it. I'm about to drone on myself. What the fuck is up, my little cats and kittens, and welcome to another episode of the OVER Sharra podcast. I am your motherfucking host, Sharra Coley, and I'm going to be doing what I do best, which is oversharing my thoughts, my opinions, my life stories, perspectives, whatever the fuck I feel like, on topics that sometimes make that might make some people feel just a wee hair uncomfortable. But you know the drill. Here on the OVER Sharra podcast, oversharing is caring. So let's get into it. All right, motherfuckers, it's been a minute since I have been on the mic, but it feels so good to be back. I'm in a really fucking good mood. I've got my margarita here. I think this is just going to be like the tradition. I have a little margarita. I smoke a little weed. We do a little party. I give you some updates. We're going to talk. We're going to share. We're going to have a good time. All right. I have had a great couple of weeks. I'm also on a high because fucking Justin Bieber just dropped an album, and holy shit, I can't stop listening to it. It is so good, minus. And here's what I'll say. I am not a hater of Sexy Red. I don't necessarily care for her music, but that is my own bias, okay? My own bias is that I love women R&B artists, but for some reason, I just don't really care for women rap artists. Like, love R&B artists, okay? Like, SZA is one of my favorite artists. Like, so many women, like Lauryn Hill, like just so many people. I mean, and I can even get down with like some old school women rappers like Missy Elliott, but even sometimes her stuff is just like a little too raunchy for me. And I don't know why that is, because I'm a pretty raunchy person. So whatever that is, I'm just not super into like female rap. I don't think that she's a bad artist. I think for her genre, she is talented, and I see the vision, and I see why people like her. But man, I just cannot get over the fact that like it just kills the entire vibe of the Sweet Spot song. And I love that song. It's so fucking vibey. And I just was like, man, SZA would have crushed that. Like any R&B female artist would have crushed that. And anyways, I just like can't get over it. I've been like singing the tune of so many of his songs lately. Like it's a fucking bop. And I will stand on the ground that I do think that this is his best album yet. And I say that because I think that if you go back in time of like knowing Justin Bieber and how he came up, which I kind of sound fucking crazy. I'm 37 and I'm a huge Justin Bieber fan, but I just have such an appreciation for raw talent, man. And this fucking kid has been talented. He came out of the womb fucking talented, and I just respect that. Like he learned how to play the guitar and the drums and sing and dance. Like he is the total package when it comes to that. And to have not gone further off the rails than he has during his time, like becoming so famous as a kid, like I just have such respect. And like he's not lost his talent. Like you've seen so many of these artists who come up who started off as kids, and you're kind of like, okay, they fade out. Like look at NSYNC, right? I mean, Justin Timberlake's still around and he's still great, but like the rest of the artists, like where are they? And so it's just, you know, it's very rare that you see an artist who continues to just keep that caliber of their vocals, of their artistry, of their performance, like of all of that. And I just think that, you know, you go back to these videos and you see him talking about as a kid, like he wants to like be in R&B, and like here he is. Like this is an R&B art, like an R&B album, and I fucking love R&B. Like if I had to name my favorite genre of music, I think that R&B would have to be at the top, because I keep finding like Post Malone, his original shit was like kind of it's not R&B, kind of like pop rap, but like SZA is one of my favorite artists. Again, like R&B is just like my jam. I fucking love R&B artists, and when people do it well, it fucking kicks. And he did it. Like the lyrics to his song are great. The different beats to his song is great. Like some of just like the things that he sprinkled in there, like his drum solo from his like one of his first YouTube videos that he got discovered on, like fucking brilliant. The way he featured himself on the song Yukon, like I have just like I have been in love with this album since he dropped it. And Also, I'm just like, what a fucking genius. All of basically like the marketing he did for himself. Like, he got the entire world to tune into his social media because the world was thinking that like his relationship was falling apart and he was addicted to drugs. And like, we were like, oh, is Justin going to crash out? Is he going to be the next Amy Winehouse? Blah, blah. And then fucking boom, drops an album. Like, what a fucking genius. Props to you, Justin. Like, I love seeing this in people, and this album is just like speaking to my soul. Okay, I had to get off my chest because I have literally been like bebopping to this album all fucking day, and I'm gonna continue bebopping to this album probably all fucking summer. Justin Bieber and SZA are my artists of the year. I call it. My Spotify Wrapped. I am calling it now on, what's the fucking date today? The 15th. Okay, my sister's birthday is tomorrow. I'll have to wish her a happy birthday. But yeah, I call it now. Spotify Wrapped for Sharra of 2025. My top artists are going to be SZA and Justin Bieber. Guaranteed. I will be in the 0.1% of fans. Anyways, moving on, okay? Wait, but actually before I move on, I have to give a little backstory of I gave a little backstory of why I respect Justin Bieber, but why Justin Bieber is also a bit nostalgic for me because he's a little below my time, right? Like, I'm almost 40, and when he was coming up, like, I was well into my 20s. And so I just remember, though, whenever I was living in New York City, his song Baby, like, that is just like, it's such a feel good. Like, it's such a bop. It's just so happy. It's so dancey. And when I was living in New York City, it can get really depressing at times, especially whenever I first moved there and I didn't really know anybody and there was just a lot of shit going on. Like, that city can swallow you and you have to like really figure out how to survive. And so while I was figuring all of that out, I had his song set as my alarm tone. So every morning I woke up to Justin Bieber, baby, 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 oh, like baby, 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 oh. And I would just wake up in the best fucking, like, I swear to God, it would just like make me dance my way awake. And it was the best fucking vibe. And the thing that like got me smiling, the first thing that I did whenever I wake up, like, nothing is worse than the alarm that goes off that's like, brr, brr. Like, no, I will choose Justin Bieber, baby, 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 oh, all fucking day. Let me dance my way out of my fucking coma, okay? That's how you're gonna wake me up. Like, if I ever go into a coma, like, just try and play that song for me. Like, I hope that that's what's fucking wake me up. That's gonna be like my Snow White. You're my prince, fucking Justin Bieber. Just baby, I awake from the dead, baby, 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 oh. Just like, oh. Oh, I'm a silly banana cake. Okay, but let me give you a little bit of an update. Let me just tell you that I'm sorry I did not record at all in Costa Rica, and I'm sorry, but I'm also not sorry, because what I learned about myself on that trip is that there are sometimes to be able to do that, and there are sometimes to just engage, like just to be present and engage in the moment. And I felt like it was the trip. So this was the first time that me and my boyfriend, feels so weird to say that, but I'm also like so smitten as a kitten. Anyway, this was our first time traveling together. So I just kind of felt like, yeah, I did want to record, but then it was also like I didn't have service. So I wasn't going to pay for like the roaming shit that happened. And like, he set up an app for his phone to like be connected for a certain amount. I'm like, I am just like not going to go that far to like figure it out. And they were going to charge me $30 a day for like roaming and internet or roaming like cell service. And I was like, I genuinely don't need to be connected to my phone. So unless I'm at the villa that we were staying, like the little, I guess I would call it a villa, like the Airbnb, it was like a little cute little villa. Unless I'm there and connected to Wi-Fi, oh my God, Shrimps, you're being insane. You're being insane. You got the zoomies like I get in the mornings. Like, unless I'm connected to Wi-Fi, I just like don't have a reason to need to be on my phone. Had my phone near to like take pictures and stuff, but other than that, I just wanted to be present in the experience and experience traveling with him for the first time, and it was incredible. Like, just such a good balance of things. Like, there was adventure, like we hiked up to the waterfall and then we could tell that a storm was rolling in, so we ended up like paying the guy who was taking like the little shuttle wagon down cash, and he took us down with the rest of the group so we didn't have to get caught in the rain. It was so fucking hot, we were sweating our dicks off, but the waterfall was beautiful. So another day we went on like a little guided tour and we got to see animals. So we paid this guide, and it was just me and my boyfriend and these two other girls from, where were they from? I think they were from like Norway or something. Anyways, they were super cool. So small group, have like a little booth binocular thing that you can see way high up into the canopies and everything. So we got to see so many cool animals, some sloths, some monkeys, all kinds of cool shit. Then we went to like the beaches. Like we just did like a lot of exploring and stuff. Like went and had just kind of side of the road food, like all kinds of stuff. We relaxed. So it was just like the perfect mix of adventure and relaxation and hanging out at our place and exploring. Like just, it was such a great vacation. Sorry about that. My cat's being insane per usual. Anyhow, something that I do want to talk about is happiness anxiety, because I think that sometimes people think that like whenever you're in a good state in life, like whenever you're happy and things are going well, that like you just aren't going to or shouldn't experience anxiety and depression and things like that. And I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, it's so normal, but like it also is. Like if you're somebody who has any sort of history with anxiety and depression, like just because you're in a good place in life doesn't mean that you are exempt from experiencing those emotions and those waves. And so I want to bring this up because I experienced this while I was on vacation, and I want to talk about this from two perspectives. I want to talk about it from the perspective of like how this shows up in a relationship and what it looks like to have a supportive partner and what it looks like to not have a supportive partner if you're somebody who deals with any sort of anxiety and depression. And then I also just want to talk about it from a sense of like normalizing that even when things are going really, really well, that you can still experience feelings and waves of sadness. So we were in Costa Rica and having such an incredible time, like genuinely probably like one of my favorite vacations. It's hard to compare because, you know, I've had several vacations where I've gone alone and had really, really awesome times, and it's just so different. So I feel like it's hard to compare this kind of vacation where you're going with people to something like that, but definitely just like exceeded my expectations. Really, like we traveled just so well together in the way that like we like to get to the airport. Like he was so prepared, and we just vibed. Like it was just vibe. However, I knew that I was going to be starting my period at some point on the trip. I knew that it was probably going to be towards the end based on my last cycle that I had because of when my period ended and when it had started the previous month. And it's been somewhat consistent for the last several months. So I was anticipating at some point, probably towards the end of the trip, that I would be starting my period. So I just knew that I was going to start my cycle whenever I was on this vacation at some point. So that did in fact happening actually the night before we were flying back. And so when I first start my period, I know that a lot of women can relate to this. I just do not feel well at all. Like my cramps are super bad. I get hot flashes. I get nauseous. Like I feel like I'm going to throw up. Like my appetite's weird. Like obviously my digestive issues are weird, and I have Crohn's and UC. So like that makes me super uncomfortable. My bowels are just like all kinds of fucked. Being on vacation fucks your bowels up. So my emotions get like just my hormones get a little fucked whenever I'm around my period. And I'm sure that a lot of women can relate to this, that we're just not ourselves. Like even like men make jokes about it of like, oh, like, are you on your period? Like, yeah, I mean, even your hormones shift. You don't have an actual period, but like your hormones shift month to month as well. And ours cycle through that as well. So like when my hormones are shifting like that, because I already struggle with anxiety and depression, I take Lexapro. It's something that I'm open about. It's something that I've been open with my partner and with other partners. Like it's a part of me. It's a part of my life. And I need the person that I'm with to know and understand that. And I do have some like anxieties around that showing to somebody, because I've definitely experienced in the past of like opening up about that kind of stuff, or like experiencing some of those feelings in front of a partner. And it's just not necessarily been what they've wanted to deal with or handle or even understand. And so it's led to just like not feeling supported, or like me feeling like I need to hide that in future relationships, or just, you know, kind of isolate myself in those moments. So I say this because there was a night that we had gone out to dinner. We had this very beautiful dinner. He made this reservation at this like mountaintop or like hilltop restaurant that was like just down the street from our Airbnb. It was beautiful, like Italian food, like great night. I had a bottle of wine, was just like vibing, having a good time. And I can just go from feeling like that to like, I just get very sensitive. Like my emotions can just get really sensitive. And so I just went to wash my face, and like, I like was wanting to kind of like stay up and party, and he was like just in a different vibe. And I felt like I was like maybe being too much or like being annoying, because I get kind of like the proverbial zoomies for an adult. Like I can just get like really hyper. And I think something that I really loved about this vacation is that I felt like I was able to be, I've never felt more myself. Like, even if you're watching this, like, I have my hair curly. If you've been seeing it on social media at all, like, I'm just embracing who I am naturally as much as possible. Like, I hardly wear makeup anymore. When I do, it's just like I feel beautiful when I wear it, right? Like, it's like special that I like get dressed up, but it's just like I'm no longer feeling like I need to hide behind this veil of insecurity and this veil of kind of not really who I am, and unpacking a little bit of like where that all has come from. So I spoke about it on another episode before I went to Costa Rica, that I was just like looking forward to going to Costa Rica because I was planning to like just be as free as I can and to like literally like let my hair down and let it get curly and let it get wet. And it's just been I know it sounds so silly, but it's been so freeing to do this and to like be presenting myself on social media in public and all of this with my natural hair. And like I've definitely had people have certain reactions of like, oh, I love it, or like, wow, you look so different. It's like I feel like I like shapeshift of how I look based on what hairstyle I have. And I can understand that because I see other people who have different hairstyles. I'm like, wow, like you really do look so different whenever your hair's straight versus your hair is curly. But yeah, I think it's just kind of this allowing myself to just be fully seen. And that feels like so cringy and weird to say in some weird way, but it's true. I feel like I'm allowing someone to finally see the whole real me. And it's like giving me permission and like hyping me up to let the world see the whole real me, and like my friends see the whole real me. And it feels really, really good because, we all develop insecurities for reasons that sometimes are not even necessarily within our own consciousness, but a lot of times it's because of things that we experience as we grow up. I was bullied, or not necessarily even like bullied, but just, poked fun of on how pale I was, and my hair being red and my hair being curly, and people calling me Annie and Chucky, and kids are fucking mean. And I just, so it created all of these kind of irrational insecurities that made me feel like I couldn't show my real self to the world. There's been a lot of things, right? So like I got kind of teased for being super pale. Like I am just so fucking pale. Like my boyfriend jokes because he's like, you go out in the sun like all the time. I really do. Like I go outside all the time. But like if I don't have self tanner on, I look like a fucking vampire. Like I am translucent. I'm paler than pale. Like you can quite literally see through my skin. You're like, oh, there's Shara's veins. Like all of them. We can literally like I'm so translucently pale. And I can get tan, but it takes so much work. Like I have to be in a tanning bed or out in the sun for just like the entire day, no sunscreen, like burning my skin every single day to even maintain color. And then it goes away so fast because again, I'm just not meant to be that tan, and I'm not trying to ruin my skin anymore. But I got teased for being like Casper whenever I was growing up. So then I started going to the tanning bed all the time. And then I was like, cool, well, I don't want to keep going to the tanning bed because my dad's had skin cancer multiple times and had to get moles and stuff removed on multiple occasions. So I was like, all right, well, I'm just going to like self tan or get airbrush tans and things like that. So like I've been addicted to that. I'm still addicted to that. Like I still believe, and I mean, I think that most people look better when they're tan. That's just my own bias in general. But yeah, I still believe that like I look less attractive whenever I'm my natural pale self. Same thing with my hair. Like I got teased for looking like Annie, or like being called Chucky, or like whatever other mean shit kids would say to you, especially because my hair's red. So just like I've been straightening my hair since the age of 12, and I've avoided so much life. Like I even feel that way about my eating disorder. Like that's why now I'm so opposed to like meal prepping and calorie counting and everything. It's because like it's such a trigger for me because I spent so much of my life doing that, focusing on that, hyper fixating on being perfect, like trying to have the perfect body. And it's kind of the same way I feel about hair and makeup. Like it's only been within the last few years that I've even started going barefaced. Like there was a time in my life where I would quite literally not do anything unless I had makeup on. Like I would not go to the gym. I would not go anywhere without makeup on. And then with the help of my dermatologist and getting some laser treatments and just, I think, growing up and growing into my skin, I have slowly stopped doing that. And now I can honestly say that there are times where, like, after I put on makeup, sometimes after I've not worn makeup for a while, I will be like, wow, I actually think I look better without it at times. And it's so, what a difference it can make to just like start feeling confident in your skin. And like now I feel like I'm doing it with my hair, where like I've literally avoided for so long in my life of just like having fun at the pool and going into the ocean and all these things, not because I didn't want to go swimming or not because I didn't want to participate, but because I quite literally didn't want people to see what my hair looked like, not straight or not done and without makeup and all this. So I just feel like I'm finally fucking taking all of these masks and taking all of this shit off and fucking opening myself up to just actually living life. And I say this because like even today it just like melted my heart. I went by and I saw my boyfriend. He works really close, like he works right down the street from where I live, so I oftentimes will go take a walk and go see him and just like pass by, give him a kiss, whatever. And so I passed by today and I love that he verbalizes what he thinks and how he feels, and it just like hypes me up. Like he knows how big of a deal it was because I told him, you know, like, hey, it's like I'm nervous to like show this, like I've never shown this side of myself really to anybody, and or like quote unquote let my hair down like this. And today I stopped by and I've just recently in the like since we went to Costa Rica, because also like I wouldn't have been able to straighten my hair there, like no fucking way, it's way too humid. Like I could have tried as much as I wanted to and it just like would have poofed up anyway, so I had no option but to let my hair go natural. And I was getting in the ocean, like getting in the pool, like just having such a good time, and he just knew what an important thing that has been and is for me, and like just has been hyping me up. Like I went by the shop today to just go say hi to him on my lunch break, and he just made a comment about it because I was like about to leave, and he was just like, hey, I love that you're wearing your hair curly and you're just like fully embracing it and like fucking rocking it. And it's just like, it just feels so nice to have, like, it kind of feels like my cheerleader, like my biggest supporter. Like I started this episode talking about the Justin Bieber album, and he has this song called Go Baby, and it's just like really his feelings about Haley and just like, man, like, you know, we can go through the hard times and like you can cry on my shoulder, but like fucking go baby, like I support you, like go baby go. And that is just like, I get giddy thinking about it because that's just like how my boyfriend makes me feel. And it just, what a difference that can make. I say all of this because like, let me circle back to where I was actually going. You know, I'm fucking ADHD, so you know I was going to circle back eventually. Okay, we get off track and we come back. That's what we do here on the OVER Sharra podcast. Let me take a swig of my margarita. Is that why all of this good shit is going on, I can still experience times of sadness, and it's so fucking normal. Like, okay, so I was about to start my period. We had gone out to dinner. We're having a great time. I was wanting to kind of like stay up and party. I was getting kind of like self-conscious that I was being too much or like too hyper or whatever. And so I went to wash my face, and I mean, obviously I'd had a bottle of wine, so that definitely impacted me feeling as emotional as I was. And I was able to talk myself down, like, sure, you've had a bottle of wine. Like, you're just being obnoxious and like you're about to start your period. But you know, I was vulnerable with him. I stayed in the bathroom for a while and I came back, and he knew. He could fucking tell. He was like, well, you were in there for a while. Are you okay? And I was like, and I just looked at him and I was just like, I was crying. And he was like, I kind of figured you were in there for a while and blah, blah, blah. And like, he was just so supportive. And I was like, I'm really sorry. Like, I'm just scared that like I don't want this to push you away. And he's like, baby, like I promise, like you're totally fine. And so I had my night, whatever, like didn't think everything of it. Well, then I got my period the next night, which was the night before we were flying back. And that next morning I just was not feeling well at all. Like we were in the airport. I really thought that I was about to throw up. He looked at me and I was just like, I might boot. And he was like, yeah, you don't look very good. And I was like, I'm like getting a hot flash. Like the air conditioning is not circulating well in here. Like, I don't know if I need to throw up or eat. Like, I can't figure it out. And he was like, all right, like, let's just get food. We'll go sit in the lounge, whatever. So just like was not feeling my best all day long. And again, my emotions were just kind of like all over the place. So I ended up getting kind of upset because, again, I can get super super sensitive whenever my hormones shift, and a lot of people think that I'm just like this super strong, like, and I am a strong person. I'm not going to say that. I'm a very resilient person. I've talked about that before, but I am, as far as my heart is concerned, when it comes to romantic partners especially, my heart is very sensitive, especially when like I have anxiety around abandonment, and I definitely have abandonment anxiety like intensely. And so anyway, we were at our layover in Houston waiting on our flight, and something that I love about our relationship is that we can like really fuck around with each other. Like we can really like kind of like joke on each other and like poke at one another, and it's funny, and it's just like our humor and everything. But I know that sometimes for me, like I can get sensitive. And so that's what happened. He was like joking around with me, and I got really in my head and was just like, kind of just like really started overthinking about like, oh man, like, is this too much? Because he like was joking around with me, and I was like, oh, like that actually like hurt my feelings. And I had a couple of margaritas. Again, I hadn't been feeling good all day, and I was just like, I think I'm gonna cry. And like I wasn't like hysterically crying, there were just like tears rolling down my face. And he was like, okay, like what do you want to talk about it? What do you need? And I think had it not been that reaction, I definitely could have shifted into being a little more hysterical or just like a little bit more upset. But because of the way that he responded, like while I still continued to spin out a bit, like it was just so calming. And like I did continue, like I just really got in my head because, again, like I mentioned earlier, I've been in those situations where I've shown this side of myself to somebody and it's been too much, or they're like, I don't have the capacity for like drama, because we weren't arguing like at all. I just got sensitive, and it's like then I was like tearing up, and like that can just be, there are some people who are just like, I don't want to have to deal with anything other than myself, and they're selfish lovers essentially is what it comes down to. But yeah, he just was like, do you want to talk about it? I was like, no. And then I continued to just like really be in my head about it, and I was like, oh man, like I wonder what he's thinking about. And so I just let him know, like, I can't calm down right now. And luckily the seat next to me was open. So he was on the aisle seat, I was in the middle seat, and then the window seat was open. So I was like, I'm just going to lay down. I had a little airplane pillow. So I laid down, and he just like helped his hand on me, just like to let me know that he was like still there. And then afterwards, cause I told him, I was like, I'll talk to you about it later. So we got back to his house, and he just, was so gentle about it. And was just like, so is there anything that you want to talk about some things? And I was like, yeah. And I just explained to him that, in those times, like I just wasn't feeling very good, and I just got sensitive and took it, I guess, like wrong, and like it hurt my feelings. But at the same time, then I was in my head because I was like, oh no, like I don't want him to think that he can't joke around with me, because I've been in relationships in the past where they're like, oh well, I did this and you cried about it, so I don't want to ever do it again. And it's, and so it's like, I don't want you to think that you can't joke around with me, that because like I just am having a sensitive day. And then I just like really got in my head because I don't want the way that I responded to like push you away, or you to think that it's too much, or that I'm being whatever. And I just shared with him, like, I have abandonment anxiety. Like I have anxiety that like if I do something, or like if I have a bad day or a bad night or something like that, that you're going to be like, this is too much. And like I get scared about that kind of stuff. And he just was like, look, like I know that you struggle with this kind of stuff. Like this is something that you've been open with me about, and I know this comes with you. And he was like, and don't worry, like I'm gonna continue to fuck around with you. Like that's just who I am. So like no worries there. And like, thank you for telling me. And like, babe, I'm not going anywhere. And he was just like super, super reassuring. And it was just like a breath of fucking fresh air. And I just wanted to share this because, again, like I feel like I'm in one of the happiest periods of my life, and still I can have these moments where I just like, I'm having the best vacation, I'm doing this, and like I can still break down and have anxiety. Like I had an anxiety attack is essentially what happened on the plane, and it just felt so comforting to have the response that I did. But I just wanted to share that story because I think I just want to normalize that, like, even when things are good, don't beat yourself up, because that's kind of what I was doing a little bit too, of like beating myself up of like, what the fuck are you sad right now, Shara? Like, get your shit together. This is like the best you've felt in such a long time. Like, you know, things are going well in life, things are going well in this relationship, and like, you're happy. Like, what the fuck are you being sad and anxious about? And it's just like, you know what, bitch, this is just a part of who you are, and this is just a part of life. And I feel very grateful and supported and loved, really, in who I am, and being able to share it. And it was such a good vacation. Now, on the other side of that, while I'm sharing about depression and anxiety, something now that I'm struggling with is what I would call worst case scenario anxiety, like happiness anxiety, I guess is what I would call it. Yeah, I'm having anxiety about being this happy. And I know that it's something that I worry about. Like, I worry about the future, but I mean, it comes from places that are in lived experiences, right? Like, there's a part of me that's like, oh man, like, I'm so happy. Like, am I going to lose this? Like, what would I do to deserve to feel this good? And should I expect for it to all be like swept out from underneath my feet at some point? Because the reality is that I watched my sister have a really great relationship with her late husband. And unfortunately, he passed away tragically from cancer in a very quick matter of time. And it's just like, I know how fragile life can be, and I know how quickly things can change, and I can't help but think like, I'm so happy that like, why do I get to have this? Like, who says that I get to experience long-term relational happiness when like I know so many other people who it's been taken from? And so that's where I'm at now. So before I was, having different anxiety, now I'm having happiness. Am I too happy? I'm having anxiety about being fucking happy. So welcome to the world of fucking, what even is this? Anxiety, depression, ADHD, like all the things that I have. Fuck. And I take Lexapro for it. So listen, people, you're not fucking alone. If you get sad, it's normal. I think anybody who thinks on a deep level, like I think that I am a little bit neurodivergent. My boyfriend really does tell me, he's like, I think you have a little bit of autism. But I think it's just really, I mean, I think that I do to some degree. I take things very literally at times. Like, it is very hard for me to decipher between literal and sarcasm at times, which is funny because I can be very sarcastic, but I'm also a very literal person. So like, people can take me wrong sometimes because I'm super, super direct, but it's just because, again, I'm just a super literal person. And I think maybe I'm just a little neurodivergent in that way. And I'm a creative, right? Like, I have a very creative mind. So it's just like constantly jumping from thing to thing. I was thinking yesterday, I had a super productive day at work, and that's just how my brain works. I either have days where I accomplish like a whole week's worth of work in like one day, or I work for an entire 8 hours and I'm like, what the fuck did I even do today? Like, I know I did shit. I think I did shit, but I was not able to like focus or like really accomplish anything. Actually, that was something that my boyfriend said whenever we were in Costa Rica. We got to our last Airbnb, like I was making drinks, dinner, whatever, and he just comes up behind me and he's like, I can just see your ADD working. Like, I can just see it right now. You went over here and you got this out. Then you moved on to doing this. Like, you've started little projects, but not one of them have you completed. And I'm like, but they all will get complete. It's just like, I start doing one and then I'm like, oh, da-da-da. And like, that's how my brain works. And so I don't even know where I was fucking going with that, but that's right on par with exactly what the fuck I was just talking about. I fear for the day, not fear for the day. I am excited for the day that I'm gonna have a guest. I was hoping that my boyfriend would be a guest in Costa Rica, but let's be honest. Okay, he is very social, but he's also a bit shy. He's like shy when it comes to this kind of stuff. But I do not fear for the day, but I mean, maybe I'll just make it my thing where I just don't wear pants, because like I never have pants on when I'm recording. I have a blanket on, I have a giant shirt. I'm doing what I would call Winnie the Poohing, where it's just shirt and underwear, no pants, just Winnie the Poohing around. And so yeah, maybe that'll just be my thing. I'll have guests and I'll just fucking Winnie the Pooh. I mean, you can't really tell that I don't have anything on. And I could have, little briefies on, but just like giant t-shirts. I think I just invented my thing, my niche, my outfit niche. Okay, that's gonna be my thing once I have guests on here. So stay tuned. I'm gonna keep fucking Winnie the Pooh in even with guests, and we're gonna have margaritas. And anybody who does smoke the devil's lettuce will smoke the devil's lettuce with me. All right, the last thing I'm gonna fucking talk about today is America. What a controversial topic. America, the United States of fucking America right now. What a shitstorm. But here's what I will say, and here's what I'm going to put out there is that going to Costa Rica was absolutely beautiful. And I have traveled a lot, but only within the United States. I have now only been to 2 countries, which is Canada, which I'm sure Canadians would take offense to this, but I'm just speaking from like how the country is set up from a developmental standpoint. It's pretty much like America. Like there's really no difference. Again, I'm not talking about politics or anything like that. I'm just speaking about developmental levels. Canada is pretty much just the United States. So, but beautiful. More like, well, the United States is beautiful, but anyways, Canada, beautiful. But Costa Rica is the only other country that I've been to so far, and it is so gorgeous. I'm so glad that we did the drive that we did. On the way in, we did like the coastal drive, so we got to see all like the beaches and stopped in certain towns. Oh my God, the food was incredible. But yeah, and then on the way out, we went the mountainous route closer to like where the volcanoes and stuff. So fucking cool. We were like literally up in the clouds. Awesome pic, like just such a cool thing. However, I was a bit shocked of how poor Costa Rica is and the difference in the living conditions, and it made me very grateful for like, even though there are a lot of shitty things going on politically and environmentally and just everything within the United States, I think that it just like really made me grateful for the things that I take advantage of every day and the things that a lot of us probably take advantage of every day, which are just like things that we've come to normalize and appreciate and maybe underappreciate, which is things like being able to throw your toilet paper in the toilet, like not having to put your poo-poo paper in the toilet, in the trash can. I was not great at it because it's like such, it's so habitual, right? But like, they don't have the systems that can support. New Orleans also doesn't really have the systems to support, so there's that. But New Orleans is like its own third world country. Central air conditioning, like that's super uncommon. And in the place we did have AC, but it wasn't central AC. It's just like a wall unit, Being able to confidently drink water without it making you sick, like without you literally getting a disease. Again, I know New Orleans not the best with this. We have constant boil water advisories, but that's neither here nor there. And there's just like these things that I think we can definitely take for granted and not realize how much we love and appreciate those freedoms. And I just want to say that because I've definitely been that person. And as we were coming back from Costa Rica, it was the 4th of July. So, we can always hate on our country and things like that. And it made me very grateful to live where I live and, to just take stock in the little things that we do have and sometimes take for granted in life. Because let me tell you, I fucking love air conditioning. Like, I'm pretty sure out of all of those things, if I could only have one, I would choose AC. Like, I will buy bottled water, no problem. I will throw my poo-poo paper in the toilet. God, I keep saying the toilet when I mean the trash. They're both T words, and I've had some tequila, But I will throw my poo-poo paper in the trash, but I want fucking AC. Like, that is a non-negotiable for me, so there's that. Anyways, all right. Well, that's what I got for you. Thanks for fucking sticking around and thanks for coming for the update. I hope that wherever you are and whatever you are doing, you find something to be grateful for today. That sounds so fucking cheesy, but you know what? I'm pushing happiness and health, okay? Along with margaritas. If you aren't doing anything where you should not be drinking, I hope that, and even if you are, I hope that later in your day, go have a fucking margarita, because why the hell not? That's my motto. Why the hell not? Fuck it. Do it. Fuck it. Buy it. Fuck it. Say it. All right, y'all. You know the drill. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Like this episode. Subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you think. Slide me in a comment. Would really appreciate it. Also, share with your friends. Slide into my DMs on social media. You can find me SHARRACOLEY on both TikTok and Instagram. You can watch this on Spotify as well as listen to it on Spotify. You can also watch and listen to this on YouTube at the OVER Sharra, Sharra podcast. All right. The Over Sharra podcast. Thanks again for listening. Like, subscribe, comment, bitches. And until next time, meow. It's a sweet spot. Bow, 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 bow. Oh, I guess I can let your brother out.